What? Doing up drill like Chief Keef. It felt good when we got a last minute goal and another clean sheet. That's all I really want, like Mystique. Performance levels maintained and our players up for a fight like Zangief. Run their socks off till a man can't breathe. What? Doing up drill like Chief Keef. It felt good when we got a last minute goal and another clean sheet. That's all I really want, like Mystique. Performance levels maintained and our players up for a fight like Zangief. Run their socks off till a man can't breathe. What?
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms, and I'm joined today by NK and Edwin, the usual culprits. And today we are going to talk about the victory, bruv. Manchester United 1-0 clean sheet. Look, Ralph Rangnick seems like he's found the fix. Seems like he's found the balance. I would say it's more balanced, more controlled, I would say, than we've ever seen Man United in a very long time. Basically, the 4-3-3, man. Scott McTominay sitting just behind Fred, Bruno, and obviously your forward three. Take your pick, the low tellers. But look, I'm excited. Man United not done something we ain't done in a long time, and that's get that last minute goal. I see Liverpool be doing it. I see City doing it, and I'm jealous, bruv, because I'm thinking, look, we invented that. You know what I mean? It was Fergie time, and these other teams are doing it. Man United did it today, and it led us to 3 points, and I'm gassed. Guys, look, I just want to touch on a few things because there's a lot to get stuck into today, but let's just give you your overall thoughts of what you witnessed today. Like, how are you thinking are you thinking at Manchester United, you know, we touched on it before, 4-3-3, it's looking like we've got something to build on. Are you feeling more convinced now that Man United can kick on? Do you feel like we found some consistency? Or are you still a bit worried? Are you still a bit cautious that Man United are still trying to find their feet? What's your views, man? That goes to any one of you.
I think, you know, I don't know about consistency because it's a late win. You know what I mean? Although we control the game, the problem now we're having is that we don't create enough clear chances to convert. You know, like especially the first half, like we had a lot of possession and we were pressing them, but there was no clear chances really. I think the only real shot was the Fred shot. Was that first half?
Yeah, Fred had
half?
Yeah, I remember that shot. I can't remember what time it was.
I think it was second half. I think that was second half. But there was no clean chances. So
and then there was Ronaldo. Ronaldo, it wasn't clean, but that Bruno.
But he missed the header. Yeah, the header. But I think what it is with Man United is that we need to create more chances, clear-cut chances. We're playing a bit better. I think this structure we have to stick by. That 4-2-2-2. I don't think the team want to play in that formation and don't play well in it. So I think this is the formation. But time will tell. When it comes to consistency, time will tell, you know. At the end of the day, whether we scored in the first minute, the 70th minute or the last minute, it's 3 points that we needed, especially with, you know, teams like Tottenham having so many games in hand. So I think it was a better performance overall as a team. We're looking more like a team, like not just individuals. So, but it's still a long way to go because
can't get gassed now.
There's still a long way to go because there's still flaws in our team. And when you look at other teams like Man City, even Liverpool, we're too far away from them right now. So it's still a lot of work, but you know, well done for them for fighting all the way to the end to get the 3 points.
So you mentioned one key thing about Man United not creating enough chances, and I think that's been echoed with a lot of people that's watching Manchester United. The fans are saying we're not creating enough clear-cut chances, I'd say. And like obviously a lot of people's getting onto Ronaldo's back. And Ronaldo, like they're saying, you know, he's not doing enough. You know, he's kind of like a liability. Some of the fans, not all the fans, some of the fans are saying, you know, he's like a liability. Maybe he's past it. He's not doing enough. And then I'm sitting there thinking, but Manchester United are not creating enough. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, man, like Ronaldo, with Ronaldo, there's no excuse for it. We know he's a certified goal scorer. Just before he came Man United, he was top goal scorer in the Italian leagues or wherever he was doing his thing. I know that he scores goals. We all know that he scores goals. We've got enough evidence to see that. But when he's at Man United, he's gone on a bit of a drought now for Ronaldo's standards. So for me, I'm just thinking like, is it Ronaldo or is it Ronaldo and the whole cliche of him, not cliche, but the whole talk or agenda of him being past it and, you know, not fit right for the team, poor signing? Or is it the fact that Manchester United really isn't creating enough chances? Because I saw Cavani play he started up front by himself, and he was a myth in that game. And we all know what Cavani can do. We know that what he's done for us as well. So I'm just thinking, like, do you think like it will be the same situation if Man United had a Haaland in the team? Like, what's your thoughts?
I think what do you call it? It's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. I think Ronaldo is a striker that he need goals. You know, whether the team wins or lose, he want to get the goals. And I think in our previous games, what he is doing is that he hasn't been getting involved in a game, or they haven't been supplying him as much as he would love. So I think what he tend to do is he tend to kind of like drop deep, so that he can kind of like get a feel of the ball, get a touch of the ball, and in doing so too, I think once again he's overdoing it. People say, "Oh, why can't you just be the focal point too?" But I've seen him up there, and then even today, for example, Tellers tried to find him a few times, couldn't just get. They just cannot get. They rush the long balls too quick or too early. That it's like they struggle to find him, and he gets frustrated. So he tried to kind of like drop deep. But even when he dropped deep too, one thing too is your link-up play need to be good.
Yeah.
But that's where he's been a bit kind of like rusty with his link-up play. I think sometimes it's like he's not in the same kind of like tune with the players. But if you watch today's goal, for example, he got a ball, like he came deep, got a ball and started an attack. He done similar things too against kind of like Brentford too. So when you not gain the service that you want and you drop deep too, that is what you need to do. Like you have to be working hard to create chances for the other team. A bit similar to what Firmino does for Liverpool wingers all the time. And today we saw like in the end, that's what he did to kind of like create a goal where he got it, dropped deep, got the ball, gave it to Martial, and then he tried to run it in there, but by the time that he got in there, Rashford have already kind of like scored a goal. So it's just a matter of like he just needs to just choose his timing of it, really.
But you sent in a group that post from Samuel Luckhurst, basically saying how like what you were just saying when you said like Ronaldo, when he drops deep, what tends to happen is people are scared of Ronaldo, innit? They want to man mark. They probably got instructions saying we need to man mark him, maybe you need to double up. They just fear Ronaldo. So what he does is he draws players and they follow him, and then he creates.
Bro, yeah. If you watch the Brentford goal, that was just a perfect example about that little movement. Like if you watch the Brentford goal, he kind of like step out.
Yeah.
And then the minute he step out here, two of their centre backs, they follow him because they wanted to be tied to him. And by following him, it actually let Elanga, because the third centre back, he was actually the one playing Elanga onside, because the two of them were trying to kind of like close in on Ronaldo. So it created a space. So I think the wingers too need to kind of like be smart about that. Today, I think the first half, for example, we were playing a 4-3-3 formation, but he was struggling to get into the game. So second half, they changed the formation. I don't know if none of you realized it, but he changed the formation and he went back to a 4-2-3-1. So Bruno actually went back to the number 10 because I think they wanted to just someone to be close to him because they felt like no one was close to him to kind of like do the link-up play. So we kept the thing is, I think with Ralph, he's keep on kind of like changing the formation to find out what is gonna be the best out of there. But I think this new formation, it might be a case where it might be a formation where it will not necessarily benefit Ronaldo individually, but it will benefit the team overall too. So whether he's going to be able to sacrifice working hard for the team and not getting the goals in return, that is also another question to be seen. But this formation, I think it helps us because I think we kind of like close to each other to win the second balls. But attacking wise, it's just not benefiting Ronaldo in terms of like the clear cut chances.
I must say, that I said in the past that I don't. Man United's changing the formation. We ain't got no identity. I've moaned about that before. But I must say what Ralph has done now, it seems like he's found his base formation in that 4-3-3. But he's also adapting in play, adapting the formation. He's seeing the issue, adapting it, and making sure that he tries to make the most out of his team, tries to squash sort of threats by changing the formation. So I kind of like that. And you know what I mean? Like Ralph Rangnick is proactive. But you mentioned someone who I want to talk on. You mentioned two people, obviously Elanga and Bruno. Let me start off with Bruno first. So Bruno, Edwin, what's Bruno's best position, bro?
It has to be behind. has to probably be in a similar role to Firmino, like a second striker, like playing high up off the thing, but with the freedom of roaming. You know what I mean? I think he plays when he was playing well for Man United is when Solskjaer just said, play attacking and whatever you want, do what you want. You know what I mean? I think him playing as off the striker is probably his best position. I'd rather him be at a bit higher because he has a tendency of losing the ball, and I'd rather him lose it in their third than in the middle or at the back. So for me, I think that's his best position. And in terms of dealing with his kind of like flaws, in terms of like, you know, like when he likes to like lose the ball or do a bit more, it's better for him to lose it being high up the pitch than rather down. You know what I mean? So I think balancing his strengths in regards to his shooting and his goal scoring, play him higher up, and also to kind of counter the mistakes he makes, play him higher up. That's what I think would be his best position.
What do you think, NK, to that? What do you think to that? What's your response to that?
I've already said it. One of Bruno's strengths here is his ability to kind of like find pocket to score goals.
Yeah,
that's one of his strengths. Being a playmaker of the team is not his biggest strength, where you just everything has to kind of like go through him.
Yeah,
he got a trust issue where if he don't trust certain players here, he don't give the ball to them, or he try to overdo it. Just when you watch United games here, just watch him. There are certain players that he seems to coach on the pitch. You will never see him coach certain players. He will never tell Ronaldo what position to be in. He will tell Fred, he will tell McTominay, he will tell Greenwood when he get a ball, or like sometimes too, when he play with Wan-Bissaka, you see him pointing to certain places. But when he play with players that he know he trusts here, bro, he don't even do that. He just give it to. This is why he need players like the Pogba to come in. So because of that, when he get a ball from deep, he will not be trying that long ball. All he will do is he will give it to Pogba because he knows that he got that strength than him. So he will just give it to him, and then he will go find those kind of like dangerous positions that he can hit him, which is like higher up the pitch. Where if you give it to him,
do you think that Bruno playing a bit deeper now in that 4-3-3 formation has reduced like his risky passing, like Edwin was saying?
And not necessarily. Today he down one too. In the 6th minute, he tried to do what do you call it? He tried to switch the play, and then by switching it, Westham got the ball, and then they counter us, you know. But luckily, we just kind of like dealt with it very calm. I think with him is.
But typically, though, doesn't he do it a lot more in the usual 90 minutes when he's playing behind a striker versus him being more deeper in the midfield?
Yeah, but then that's what I said, because he don't trust like McTominay and Fred to be able to do those kind of like risky passes. It's not in their game. Fred will do it. If Fred does 10 passes, one of them will be risky. The rest of them will not be like that. McTominay, bro, if he does 10 passes, all 10 will not be risky. So he feel like if he doesn't have players like Pogba onto the pitch, or even a Matic onto the pitch, he feel like everything has to come through him. And by doing that, that's what it's like he overworks himself to do certain stuff that he's not supposed to do. Switching long balls is not his biggest strength, especially from deep. He is good when he's like right behind the striker and picking pocket, you know, and picking those kind of a pocket. That's what his strength are.
Okay, cool. I get what you're saying about Pogba. I feel like Bruno does have a trust issue as well. I feel like there's certain guys that he trusts. So what he does, he's always looking for the Ronaldo run. You saw it when he tried to find him, and then Ronaldo missed the header. He will skip and bypass the whole midfield or whatever just to try and find Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. But if he has Pogba, like I said, he'll do a bit more of the link up, pass it to him. And Pogba is very efficient with his passing as well. Okay, but let me what I want to say, let me touch on what do you call it? Elanga. So I thought Elanga had a wicked game today. I thought Elanga again put in a shift. His work ethic was high. He was tracking back, obviously, getting forward. I feel like he's building on the basics of what we want for a winger. He's showing that he's doing the simple things and just doing it consistently well, which is getting forward, supporting your fullback, whipping in the balls when you need to whip it in. Just the overall general basic plays, building on the foundation. And I prefer that. I prefer that than him going crazy and and trying to over impress too soon, and then we're putting this emphasis on him to get us out of this rut that we've been in or something like that. You know, I want him to take his time and do his thing. But what was your performance again with Alanga? Do you feel like Alanga's could be that next guy? Do you think like he's coming to take Rashford's spot? Is it a long-term thing with Alanga, or do you feel like we're giving Rashford that break off and then eventually Alanga's gonna get benched? Because that's what I'm thinking a little bit.
I'm gonna tell you this, yeah. And Ole will be watching today's game and he'll be kicking himself, seeing how Elanga is playing. Because look, the minute we saw Daniel James here, that's when Man United problem started. James was not the biggest guy going forward, but in terms of like tracking back and helping the team defensively, he was the best at it. And you are seeing a bit similar to what Elanga is doing. We might sit here and say that, oh, maybe the 4-3-3, has helped us be very solid, like in the defense or not. But I could say that it's probably because Elanga has literally been doing his duty, which is always down there, doubling it up, making sure that the left back is not one-on-one with the wingers, which is what you have not been seeing with like your Rashford and your Greenwood playing. You know, they just don't do that. So,
but Greenwood did track back today, though. I saw him track.
That was just once. That was just once that he did. But the thing is, with Greenwood, I don't know if it's a tactical thing, because Rashford too used to do that quite a lot too under Ole. I don't know whether it's a tactical thing where they kind of like settle them up in terms of when we win the ball to start a counter or what. Because sometimes he just let wherever went today. I remember he switched onto the left hand side, and there was a time where when Westham made a change and Frederick came on. Well, every single time, Telles literally had 2-on-1 to deal with all the time, and it reminded me of when Aston Villa went Delort literally had 3 players, and he didn't know which one to kind of like mark. You know, but Elanga as a winger, he is helping defensively. It's something that we miss with what do you call it? When Daniel James kind of like left. Is Rashford or going to take his place? Look, maybe he will. But I tell you what, in the big games, Raf will always trust to start him because he knows that defensively he is going to help out. And sometimes that is all you need. You just need to just stay in games in order to win it late on like we did today. And for that alone, that his work ethic alone, it will get him starting some of the big games and some of the big games away. Because with him there, well, don't be surprised if Champions League he start ahead of some of our wingers because he helped. He really does help.
Edwin, is Rashford a super sub? Your mic's gone.
Sorry, I was on mute. I think if we look at Rashford as a player, he's not a super sub. So basically, he's not a Solskjaer. He's not a Sheringham. He's actually but he's just out of form. Because when he's on form, he'll be starting. It's not like we need him to start on the bench and he's not good enough. It's just that, like NK said, there's just elements of his game. Well, number one, he's come on twice as a sub and scored, which has been good. But him playing the game, he usually gets lost in the game. You can just tell his mind's not been there. He doesn't track back. But I don't want him to be made a super sub. He's got too much to his game, and he's still very young. So I think hopefully these bringing him on bit by bit will give him the edge to play better. And also, and a good thing is that he's got competition now. You know what I mean?
Got competition, man.
So
competition. There's competition.
I think he could be utilized as a super sub, but I think he's better than becoming. You know what I mean? Just as a player, I don't think he should be labelled as that. But the last 2 games he's come on as a super sub and scored, right? So
even Martial came off the bench and had an impact, bro, towards that for that game as well.
Martial, remember I was telling you, he looked sharp. He didn't look like someone that wanted to leave. Like, you know what I mean? You could tell sometimes if a player doesn't want to be there. He actually looked like he was trying. And we haven't seen him try for a long time. He usually just struts around and you're like, where's Martial? He was trying to get involved. He was, involved in the build-up to the goal. Yeah, he tried. Me personally, I'm a Martial. I like Martial, isn't it? It's just that I feel like there's no consistency with him. He doesn't have you've got hot, cold. He doesn't even have a lukewarm. If he's bad, he's really bad. If he's good, he's good. So
you know what?
He's not one who needs consistency.
This is telling me though, like if what we're seeing with this Man United squad, what it's telling me is when these guys consistently get game time, get rewarded when they're not putting in performances, you've got to bench them, bro. Like we're benching Rashford, just that we gave him a little bit of a rest, a bench. He comes on, he scores. You get me? He comes on, he scores twice now. He's come off the bench and scored. Martial, he was holding bench, and look, he came on, he assisted with that goal. He looked like he was, energetic. He wanted to prove a point in those last, 10, 15, 20 minutes, he had to play. We've seen it with Shaw, we've seen it with Dalot, and hopefully that has a good impact on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But
let me just
say
one thing. Let me just say one thing quickly, yeah?
Yeah.
Like there's a pattern, right? That it just shows Man United don't know how to nurture young upcoming players. Because Martial and Rashford are on the brink of not being too young, but good enough to break through to be consistent players to potentially become world-class players, right? But it's like, when Ronaldo was at Man United, he had the coaching and the management that allowed him to progress to become who he is now, right? If Ronaldo was if Ronaldo was a player, if we bought Ronaldo now, say from Sporting, he would never turn out to be the player he is.
Yeah, it'll be a mess. A big
because Man United have got a problem with nurturing players. Like at least back then they had the right coaches. They had Ferguson as a manager. He actually, you could see the growth. Like I feel like
Carlos Queiroz and all them man there.
Rashford should have grown more. You know what I mean? In the time he's been there.
Fact.
So I just feel like if Ronaldo had come the other time, it would have been a problem for him.
That scares me.
The thing is Rashford and Martial is, I think they have in a way to be let down by coaches too. Especially Martial, I think when sometimes a player think they know what is good for them, but as a manager too, you have to be able to just say, look, I've watched certain stuff and I feel like this is going to be your best position to play. Because if you give a player a choice, they're always going to choose where they think is their best position to play. But sometimes the manager know Martial, and the last 3 years has said that, I'm a striker and I want to play as a striker, and that kind of like stopped his development. Because if he was still playing as a winger, bro, he would have properly developed. Today, you saw him when he get a ball as a winger. He loved to run and he loved to always use the guy playing as a striker to do his 1-2, where he give the ball to them and then either he make the decoy run or he get a ball and then score. The way he has been playing like that has benefited Rashford a lot. That's why anytime he played with Rashford like that, he always does that way. He loves to do that kind of like give and go.
They had a real good part. Yeah, them two had a really special partnership. Remember when they were both?
Because that's what he does. And if he was playing as a winger and he had like a good striker who was very kind of like, because even today when he came on, you saw it when he got the ball, Ronaldo was just there, gave it to Ronaldo, kept on running, and Ronaldo kind of like lay it off to him. It's a shame that he chose to kind of like develop as a striker instead of a winger, because one of his best attributes, Martial, is when he is running at defenders. They are scared of him. When he's scared of him, but when you go to the middle, you cannot get that much space to be operating the way you actually get enough space to be like running at people. You don't get that as a striker, especially at Man United where teams come and play that deep. You don't do that. But
I think our big issue is that none of these guys just look very comfortable on the right. So like that's the same thing people are saying about Rashford. Like he's best when he's on the left, like cutting in and running on and taking plays. Obviously he's dipped, but it's just like none of them can like occupy that right, which is why we went out and got Sancho, right? None of these guys, Martial, Rashford, feel comfortable, and it's just like it's so hard because now we're trying to play guys really not in their best positions.
But friends, you say that, but the last 2 Rashford goals has come with him playing on the right-hand side. Today, when he came on, he was on the right-hand side. Martial was on the left-hand side. Cavani, I don't even know where Cavani was playing. But you see what happened when, Martial is there. He got the ball, run forward, lay it off to Cavani. Cavani just slided there, and this is him playing on the left-hand side. So he just made a run and just quick tap in there.
You know what? Rashford, Rashford can get a goal. He could always get a goal.
Right-hand side. Got the ball. He didn't have to even cut in or anything like that. Got it. All he had to do was just simple, boom, shoot.
I've seen Rashford get goals in big key goals, in big games like European games and stuff on the right. But it's just like, when you play someone like Rashford, he's got the talent to get a goal, right? But the thing about Rashford playing on the right is what you probably would see less is him taking on guys, like being effective during the game. But you might see him crop up with a goal. But on the left, in his prime anyway, when he was on form, what you would see him on the left more than on the right was him running at guys, dribbling guys, taking them on successfully and getting the ball, like whether getting a shot off or whatever. But obviously his form's dipped. But I didn't see that more on the left. I mean on the right when he was in form, but he will get a goal. So it's just like I'd rather a guy just be effective in the 90 minutes, consistently perform. Like, all right, like, you know, Ronaldo, he's the only guy really that I want, or Greenwood type figure, more like Ronaldo or Cavani, where they're just up there and they're just, you know, because of their age or whatever, they're just there to be the poacher, get the goal, whatever. I don't really want to be seeing someone like Rashford. He's got so much more to offer, just contributing to a goal. But you know what I mean? I want him to do a lot more because he's got a lot in his locker. He's got a lot in his locker. Look, there's someone here that I want to get on to give two shouts to, yeah, is Dalot and flipping Tellers, yeah. Those two had an amazing game, yeah. Dalot especially had a wicked game, yeah. If it wasn't for their end product with their crossing, yeah, I would have given them, it would have been a tough call. That they ain't got that whipped in cross type accuracy like Trent, do you know what I mean? Or flipping Robertson. And I know many fullbacks don't, but it's just, they whipped in a couple of balls collectively together. They probably put in 10 crosses plus. Do you know what I mean? But how many of them were landing on the plate? And when you look at top fullbacks, attacking fullbacks, that's the difference, you know. That's what is helping their teams. That's Liverpool's blueprint. That's what's helping them climb up this table. Man United kind of, we lack the accuracy, man. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if we just continue with these guys and say, you know what, next season we'll push on with these guys, or we're looking. I don't know.
Is it training? Think about it. We still haven't scored from a set piece.
Yeah, that's dead as well, man. That's dead as well.
Yeah, but today, I felt both of them were okay. They were not good. They were just okay. You know, for a game where the way we played Westham today, we had a lot of the ball. You know, so they didn't have to do a lot of defensive work. Yes, they had a few defensive work to do, but they didn't have to do defensive work. Their end product, because Ralph always called them as offensive fullbacks, and then he referred to Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw as a defensive fullback. But today, as offensive as it is, they were very poor, both of them offensive-wise. Below, I mean, decision-making, sometimes like he was shooting when he shouldn't have shot. Tellers was kind of like crossing from deep when he didn't have to cross from deep, because it's like they force it too much, and they need to learn that kind of like side of the game where not a lot has to be forced. Sometimes, as I said to you, get a ball, take a breather, and just make that decision, because they just force it too much. They just force it, especially when they get into the right dangerous position and it's time for them to kind of like pick
a
good position. That's when the problem is, because today the low crossing was similar to Wan-Bissaka crossing, just
nothing on the head. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing like Trent, you know, it's landing. When you see guys like De Bruyne whipping a ball, Trent whipping a ball, even guys like Pogba, like, even when they're whipping it in the ball, yeah, it's landing accurately. But these fullbacks, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It will come, but you know, seeing them play, like especially like Tellers and then even what do you call it, Delors. Today, as I said to you, defensively they were good. So it was very shocking where Oli wasn't playing these guys because he didn't trust that they were just very physically to kind of like ready to do it. Because in the last two games, they have actually held their own. They have really held their own. Even against Aston Villa, where we considered 2 goals, they still held their own. Like, they still held their own.
You need to remember, Antonio is a difficult guy to deal with. The defense done well. Jared Bowen as well. He's someone that everyone's got in their fantasy league.
He's on form. He's on form.
No.
They had him on lock today.
They had him on lock.
That's what I said. Defensively, they were very good. So now you just ask yourself. Yeah, you say Wan-Bissaka defensively too, but if Delors is playing like this, we just need him to just work on his attacking thing, and then we go proper like fullback there. So I don't know. Me, I've already said it. Luke Shaw, I see Luke Shaw still coming and still probably like playing the big games. But Wan-Bissaka, I don't see a way back for him. You know, I really don't. I've already said it already. I don't see a way back for him. Personally, I feel like Delors is not up to the standard to become Manchester United like proper right back. If you are going for a title, he probably is going to be in the long run. I think he's going to be a good backup for us, but we still need a proper one. But Wan-Bissaka, trust me, next season he's going to keep on fading, man. I've said it.
Edwin, let's wrap this up. Who's your best performing player? Who's your worst performing player, man?
I think, as I was saying before, I think everyone kind of played all right on the level, but maybe I don't know. If I went, it's probably the defenders, either Varane or Delort. They played. Varane was solid, especially against Antonio. He done well.
Varane was
and showed composure, and Delort played well as well. Like defensively, even though attack-wise, maybe he could have done a bit more. Defensively, he done really well.
Yeah.
So I think out of the two, maybe I would just give them a shared. Maybe worst performed. It will probably have to. It's not worst performed, but maybe Greenwood is another game where he just kind of disappeared out of the game. You know what I mean? Like where he had a quiet game. So I wouldn't say he had a bad performance, but he had a quiet game at stages. Even Bruno didn't have the best games, but he was involved. You know,
Yeah.
so
Bruno's always about fair enough. I see your point. I see your rationale for your picks.
Even you can even say Ronaldo as well, even though I hate to say it, because if we're really going by stats, he struggled the last couple of games. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, that's who I was thinking in my head. But NK, give your best performing player, worst performing player, man.
To be honest, best today, yeah, I don't know. I was struggling between what they call it, Rash. Oh, I didn't even know what to pick because today Rash, his substitution was on point, you know.
I thought you talking about Varane.
Man, talk about he's always running away to the manager. Talk about your players, bro.
No, player, bro. Look, player, yeah. Today it has to be Varane for me, bro. Honestly,
that's what I thought you said when you said Raf. I thought you said Rafael Raf Varane. I didn't know you were talking about
Varane. No. He you know, today I was watching him, yeah, and obviously, bro, even what do you call it? The game against Brentford too. Last time when I had a chance to also like rewatch it too, bro. He just makes things like he is one guy when he actually defending or going the ball, bro. You feel so calm, bro. He's what. Bro, he
worried me though. He was worrying me, man. His tumbles that he was doing, I was worried, bro. I think he's gonna get Varane, man. I see Phil Jones warming up. I was just like, oh gosh.
Oh yeah, bro. And that's what I say. He go about his business very calm, very quiet, bro. If he was my friend in real life, yeah, I wouldn't want him coming next to my girl, you know. I would not want him coming next to my bro. He's just too smooth, bro. He just too like you don't even know what he did, yeah. By the time you know, he just steal your girl, bro. He's just too smooth, bro. Definitely, he make everything look so easy. He make defense look so easy, bro. And he doesn't even do. You will never see him do a rash tackle or just do anything. He just keep it so simple, and by doing it simple, it's just so hard for the defenders, bro. Today I was just thinking to my head, imagine we get someone like him next to us, you know, because if you look at our team, Ronaldo is back, obviously world class, Cavani back world class, but Varane is the only one that we've kind of like got right now, and he is actually in his peak. Cavani is old, Ronaldo is old. We actually got him his peak, and I feel like we're gonna get the best out of him for the next like 3-4 years, man. I just enjoy watching him play. I really, especially when we've been used to Harry Maguire being shaky, which today too he was being shaky too. Like he was being shaky all the way. We've had the ball forward for no reason.
We went from Chuckle Brothers in Smalling and Jones back then, we used to call them, or whatever, and now we went to McFred. So it's good to just have someone defensively supporting us like Varane. Like you said, he's just spot on, man. Rolls Royce. Pairs when he plays football, Ferrari, whatever you want to talk. So,
right.
Who is your worst performed, man? Who was your worst performed?
I won't even say worst, but bro, Green would worry me, you know.
Really?
Bro, today, yeah. I mean, the game was very tight, and you know when it got tight, you just know that we're gonna commit players forward, and it was just a matter of time before Westham just take advantage of that. When they changed their right back and they brought Frederick here, bro, they were just doubling up on that left-hand side because Greenwood switch wings when Rashford came. Greenwood went on the left and then Rashford was on the right. And they kept on literally just like attacking that side. And I just saw Villa again where they would just go. I just feel like it was just a matter of time.
They've identified the weakness, innit?
Because he wasn't, but the thing is, he wasn't tracking back. He doesn't do that. And there is one thing too I saw, yeah. But halftime, if you lost, I don't know if you lost get a chance to kind of, because I always record the game. Halftime, they were coming back from the tunnel. He was the first one there. Everyone jogged and passed him, and he was just walking. just scroll up like that, like, you know, well, I'm just tired. I don't even want to be here, right? But he was just walking, and all of them jumped past him to go do their little warm-up and go. And he was the last player, but then when they got to the tunnel, he was the first, but he was walking. He was literally walking, and they all jogged. Like, it's like everybody was ready to go to war, and then he was just like, yeah, I'm okay, bro, man. I can play my sleep anyways. I don't know. He's young, and maybe he's gonna do that, or maybe he just doesn't need to play on the wings, but that kind of like ability where he doesn't tremble, especially when we've been used to what Elanga has been doing recently, tracking back. It just make me, I don't know. He need to fix up that side, bro. He need to fix it. Why not? There's a lot of competition, you know.
This is key. This is key times in his years. He's like, this is make or break. Do you know what I mean? We've seen. I'm not saying he's going down the Rafa Morrison route or whatever, but he's obviously had some bad press in the past. He's made certain mistakes. Now we want him to get his head in the game. He's focusing on football, which is good, but we just want to nurture him in a way. And maybe, you know, if Ralph Ragnick can't do it, he's started a process of clearing out the dead wood, getting more coaching staff and analysts in, video analysts and all of that stuff, physio, like psychologists and all that. Whether it's Ten Hag or whoever that comes in next to continue and build on that, these guys need to be picked up. Guys like Greenwood, guys like Rashford, if Donny van der Beek is still here, guys like Donny, do you know what I mean? Guys like Dalot, all of the youngers in the team, they really need to get in there.
I think he's just a striker, bro. I think he's just a striker because, look, I don't even care who comes in. He's not, because one thing, you know what? When them young players, when they come into the team, you saw when Rashford first came into the team, he used to run non-stop. Now he stopped doing that too. With Greenwood, he is not running. He just said, I don't care. I'm not running because it's
200 bands, bro.
He is not running for. I think today he only tracked back once. That's
what 200 bands,
bro. He said, I'm not running, bro. I don't care, bro.
Would you run?
I said number 9. Let me just chill up there, bro.
If they gave you a quarter of his money, would you run, dickhead? How about you? You're running.
But I will run to Ghana. And Comoros and back.
Comoros.
I will run and Qatar, you know. But I don't even need a Qatar. Just a little bit change. Just a little bit.
Look. For me, Ronaldo, not entirely his own fault. I don't think he was getting supply, but I think he was the worst performed because he just didn't contribute enough to the game. He was dropping deep, trying to get involved in the game. But that's not where we want him. That's not where we want to see Ronaldo. Even though it does help draw players to him and create spaces for others, I don't want to see him there. Realistically, I would hope that we can break down teams and create that opportunity, you know, for ourselves rather than that. So yeah, it'll be my worst performed, but it's not his fault. And the best performed, for me, I would give it to... For me, yeah, I know you man said Varane. I feel like because you shout out Varane already, I'm comfortable not saying his name. I'm comfortable saying Scott McTominay's name, you know. I felt like Scott McTominay, yeah. Do you know?
Wow! Get out of here, man.
Bro.
No. Hey, Feb, I'm giving you one last chance to change it, bro. No, I'll take the pace, bro. Bro, did you see? You know,
I'm giving you what, man?
Like,
I'm gonna give you what.
Bro, change it, bro. In the 88th minute, yeah, when we were just attacking, this guy just do a killer part. He just gave it to Westham, and then they started. Bro, you better change it, bro. Wait. You
know what? Do you know why? Yeah, I keep saying this. Manchester United's key position is that.
Slap this boy. Let me slap this boy.
It's so important, yeah, that we need to get that role. And he's not excelling in it. He's not doing like, you know what I mean? He's no Kante. But because he's just getting himself out, he's just doing a quiet game. Just do what you need to do peacefully and help the others to do what they need to do. I like it because, you know what? I like Fred being in an advanced position, utilizing his energy, closing players down in an advanced position where you can press higher up the pitch rather than then chasing back like a headless chicken going back. So I like the freedom that he's given both Fred and Bruno in a sense, because I feel like, you know, we touched on Bruno before. I feel like what's happened is Bruno's cut out a lot more of his risky passes. Maybe him playing deep has probably slashed, even though you don't trust a lot of players, it's slashed his risky passes probably by 50%. He still does them, but it's slashed it now and it's made him more of a team player, I would say. And I just feel like Scott McTominay, him being in that position, is allowing all of these things to happen, boy. But that's just my point of view, boy. Look, I don't care what you lot guys say there. This is the OT that and Banter room. Opinions are shared and smoke yourselves.
Now, if you think, yeah,
remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
If you think Scott McTominay was man of the match, then Declan Rice is worth 150 million, bro. Because he ran the show today, bro.
Yeah,
he ran the show today, bro. So if Scott McTominay was your man of the match, and then you watch how Declan Rice play, then, bro, Westham is going to say, bro, slap 150 million on him easily, bro.
Yeah, Declan was 30 today. I can't lie. He was 30. He was 30.
Bro, he was a guy, bro.
He's 30 today. And I haven't never been a big fan of Declan, to be fair. I thought, yeah, he's too slow. I thought it was overhyped, overpriced. But the more I watch him, the more I'm like, you're not too bad. I mean, you are overpriced, but I reckon that, yeah, he's definitely one of his position is rare for you got a guy. If you look at Declan, he can do it. He can do a bit of everything. When you deep it, he can bomb forward. He's got the energy. He tracks back. He's a ball winner.
He can switch it too. He can switch it too, bro.
He's got passing range, like you said. Yeah, the odd occasion as well. He's got that shot.
He's a Carrick, you know. He reminds me of Carrick, bro. He man.
He's not. He won't be a bad acquisition. My only fear is, like you said in our group chat when we was chatting about him, like Man United's got the capability of getting someone high profile. Would be a big signing, English player, getting him and then turning him into what we've seen with Maguire, what we've seen with Wan-Bissaka, what we've seen with Luke Shaw, what we've seen, you know what I mean? The inconsistencies. Sancho, now he's sitting on bench and he's always going through his issues, but it's just a lot, man. And I just feel like Man United personally do well when we get guys playing for us that we haven't got big expectations for. And that stems back to Sir Alex Ferguson. We never really got guys that we had massive. Yeah, you got big guys, RVP and all them man there, but I think the guys that did well wasn't like the party songs, the Fletchers, the Carricks. They weren't big expectation guys. They were just guys that he looked at and thought, you can do a job. And which is what excited me when I saw Ralph Rangnick saying, you know what, I want a Haidera, I want all of these guys, because they're not big names. And it's just making me think about, you know, that's a type of signing. Like even McGinn we were linked to. And I don't really think McGinn is I think he's a hard-working guy. I don't think he's a big name, but I just don't want us to be linked with the superstar all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, he's also 27 too, bro. Man,
who did we go for?
He's developing, bro. He's developing.
Do you remember when we were linked with Mane? We didn't end up getting Mane, but we went and getting Memphis Depay. And I'm looking at it in line with that Leeds winger. What's his name? Rafinha. Looking at him, instead of getting him, we went and got Sancho. Man. Not saying Sancho was a poor flop or anything like that, but it's just that Man United, obviously, you know, for the commercial reasons, we always go for these big names, English players.
But Sancho is going to be at United for the next like 5-10 years anyway. But I still feel like United, yeah, we need a DM because I mean, Scott McTominay today, I feel like he was okay, not the best, but okay. But the way we're playing and the way we are struggling for creativity, Pogba and Bruno need to get into that 8. And in order for them to do that, they need a proper, solid defensive guy in order for the two of them to be in the same team.
Tchouaméni, bro. Get him in. Tchouaméni.
Bro, because if not, I don't see Scott playing that 6 and Pogba and Bruno being the same team. Although today, Bruno was very, very hard-working, bro. He's very hard-working. I'm saying Bruno is tracking back. He was covering ground.
He's a different type of AMC. He's not your typical one because his work ethic is not like your typical AMC that just like your Ozils. You know what?
Yeah, he was. But I think today he even ran more than Fred today. He even ran more than Fred today, bro, man. So I was very impressed with like his hard work. Definitely, I think today the whole team, everybody was running for everybody. And considering we play on Wednesday, the intensity today, they had energy today. They had energy, and to keep on going and get a lot, they go in the final minute. That was really impressive, man. That show mentality, man. That's what we want to see. That show mentality.
I'm gonna end it there because, like I said to you, yeah, I feel like this, even though we didn't create enough chances in terms of control, was our best game for me that I've seen.
Yeah, doing a title charge.
I'm not even getting into that. So, guys, look, thank you for joining, giving your comments, sharing your views, guys. If you watch this, drop a comment, drop a like, share it. You know how to find me, OT99. Banter Room, TikTok, OT99_, Banter Room, Instagram, at OT99, at 99 Banter, Twitter. Look me up, man. Join, like, comment, subscribe, all of that malarkey. Until then, we'll see you next game. Peace.